everybody, what's going on? My name is Flavio, and you guys are tuning back in to the House of Collectibles. Thank you guys very much for returning back to the channel, supporting the channel throughout this whole journey. I just want to give a thanks to my subscribers. We have been seeing an uptick in subscriptions to the channel. I just want to thank each and every one of you. This is why I do it, for the people that want to see these videos. So the channel is just ever growing, and I'm forever grateful. We started with 1, and we are on the road to 500. We're almost there. So thank you guys. Thank you very much for your support, because without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. But today we do have a very, very amazing figure to review by Hot Toys, and I have been dying to get this one out on the shelf. As you guys can see, this is none other than Ahsoka the White from the Ahsoka TV show series on Disney+. Guys, Hot Toys has already made the Ahsoka the Gray, right? We've seen that one before. In the past, there were a lot of things that were not the best with that figure. So I'm very, very excited to see the differences between the two here. This is none other than TMS118, 1/6 scale collectible figure. But yes, Ahsoka Tano the White, she looks amazing. The cover art looks great. I have no complaints whatsoever. So without further ado, guys, we are going to take her out of the box and see what we all get with this figure. So I just want to start off by saying that this is Ahsoka the White, so I thought that it was very fitting that we would change the light box background to black, just so we can see the contrast in her outfits, so she's not so drowned out. So starting off with the display box, like I said, guys, this thing looks beautiful as always. Hot Toys does the typical black background box with the gray borders here up front, casting down on either side of this beautiful artwork here up front of Ahsoka the White, as you guys can see there. And that's the actual figure. I mean, just looking at it looks so photorealistic. I cannot wait to see this figure with my own eyes. Down below here, you guys have the Star Wars logo in a nice inlaid foil font there. And down here for the cigar band, as the rest of the Ahsoka series line, we have a nice pop of color here with this blue colorway for the cigar band. And as you guys can see, Star Wars TMS118, Ahsoka Tano 1/6 scale collectible figure, and Hot Toys once again just showing off, you know, the beauty of their work here with this portrait of Ahsoka Tano. And guys, I cannot wait. I can't wait to see this thing out of the box. You have the Hot Toys logo here down below. Star Wars down here for the bottom of the box here. And on the side of the box here for the cigar band, we have another beautiful shot of Ahsoka the White, but now with her cloak over top of her outfit. So very, very cool. You have more TMS118 Ahsoka Tano with the Disney logo there just for the sponsorship. And over here, once again, filling over on the side of the cigar box, or the band, sorry, shall I say. On the back here, we have the legal whodunit with the seal of authenticity. As always, Hot Toys is letting you know this is an officially licensed figure here by Disney and Hot Toys, with you know, teaming up together. So very, very cool. We are just going to pop this top of this box off here. And guys, look at that, man. I just can't say any better things. Look at this artwork. We always say it as collectors. We wish that Hot Toys would put this artwork on the outside of the box, but they kind of tease you and let you see it right before you're going to see the figure. Here down below, we have another logo here for the Star Wars, you know, IP font there with the TMS118 Ahsoka Tano 1/6 scale collectible figure. You have the figure once again in a beautiful dynamic pose, kind of being encompassed by embers and flames, as she's on the planet of Meridia. I do believe these were the ruins where she fought Marok in the beginning of the show. And as you guys can see, you guys have more of these kind of like celestial patterns here for the planet of Meridia, as we've seen those plenty of times in the show. And then very, very cool. I do believe that is the kind of the face markings of Ahsoka Tano on the front of her face, but it's kind of just there offset to the side of the figure just to show you that. So very cool. As you slip that off, guys, now we are greeted with the clamshell. We're gonna pop this bad boy off here, remove the box, and we are going to take a look at the figure finally. And guys, there is just so many goodies here already. I cannot wait to see this thing with my own eyes as we reveal from the top of the clamshell. Oh, and the face sculpt came undone here. But we're just going to take our first look here at the figure very, very quickly. Guys, oh man, she is very, very hefty. That's one thing that I can say. Taking a look at the figure for the first time, she looks fantastic, if I do say so myself. I very can't wait to see this thing, you know, for all of its glory. Very, very nice, hefty amount of weight. That's the only thing that I can just pick up off the first look. So now what we're gonna do here is we're gonna take her out of the clamshell, take all the accessories out, and see everything that we get with our Ahsoka Tano. And here are all the accessories that you get with your Ahsoka the White. I do have the swap out faceplates off to the side and also her cloak, because we'll be taking a look at that a little bit later. But starting off with the display base first, this thing is beautiful. We've seen these round bases come into play as of lately, and starting last year, I think, is when they came onto the scene. But for Ahsoka here, this one is done beautifully. It's done in a white base. So I really do like the color of that, matching the color scheme of the figure itself. It's kind of like a whitish gray, I should say. It does come with a clear post here, and it's not a kind of like flexible post here. It's just a clear support with a very small waist clamp, and that's for the figure here. Down up front and center here, you do have the show title here with the show font, so I really do like that, in a nice kind of like very gritty nameplate here up front. I don't believe that that's metal, but I think they were trying to mimic the metal nameplates that we're used to getting with our Star Wars figures. But it says Ahsoka in black with the Star Wars logo there up front. And on the top of the base, this thing is done very nicely. This is just printed over the top here, but I do believe that this is kind of the ruin floor here for those ancient, you know, ruins that we seen in the show on Meridia here. That has kind of some gloss feature here for the lines, and the rest of it is kind of like this scratchy material, but done very nicely. And then you also get a kind of a diorama backdrop piece here of one of those pillars at the ruins in Meridia. So done very nicely. This is sculpted plastic here. You guys can see the gold inlay there for kind of the text, or the star paths here, I think is what they were pretty much showing in the show. But this looks very, very weathered. The rubble looks like it is cracking, and it's very old, and it's, you know, worn. There is a nice level of gray dry brushing over the top, kind of to mimic, you know, the sense of it breaking and, you know, having multiple years of wear and tear. Even up here, all along the edge, you can see the sculpting done very nicely, and it's even sculpted on the back, something that you're never going to see, but all around very, very nicely. It does just simply peg into the base there very securely, as you guys can see, but you can pop that on there like that. Very cool.
Now, other than that, you do get these extra array of hands here. You guys get 2 fists, so I really do like that. These guys are very, very small, but they're done very nicely. As you guys can see, I love kind of the samurai essence that Star Wars integrated with the character Ahsoka. So on the back, you guys can see that she has kind of um, those pads here on the back, these protectors for her hands, and they're just very samurai-esque. If you guys have played samurai games or know the samurai lore, this is straight out of something, like that. You guys can see that it's kind of like strapped around with rope there, and then you guys have the actual padding or the armor on the back, painted very nicely in this kind of like gunmetalish gray, but it has wear and tear over the top. Her gloves are kind of like a cream cowhide cow skin, done very nicely as well. You got tons of wrinkling there, especially right there in the thumbs. You guys can see how they're so tight and cinched up. You guys have the stitching. There is a dark wash inset into the glove itself to show the stitching. And on the backside here, you guys have more wrinkling there as well, and her hands done very nicely too. But yeah, these are very, very small. You guys can see the wash up here up top for kind of the wrinkling and showing the flow in her glove. But these gloves have seen better days and they're pretty dirty. You guys also get 2 relaxed hands on the figure itself as well, but these are lightsaber holding hands for either side, so she can be dual wielding there as well. Very, very nicely done. The sculpt work is exceptional for me. I have no complaints here. They're done very nicely. As you guys can see, all the dirt and grime here all around the gloves there, and you guys can see Ahsoka's hands. You can see even the little subtle wrinkling on her fingers. No nail, no painting on the nail, though. No cuticle paint job or anything like we're used to seeing for some of their releases. This one is cool. It's kind of like a force pushing hand or a force gesture hand. Her fingers look really long for some reason for me on this sculpt, but I think on the body it'll kind of just look right. For some reason they just look very long. I think it's because they're just so straight, but it's kind of like she's pushing something, or she's kind of like waving, while she's holding her blade or something like that, of that nature. But done very, very nicely. Once again, no complaints. You guys have the armor padding there for all of the hands, and then the gloves, the fingerless gloves here. Moving on, you guys do get multiple different options for your lightsabers. You guys get the wired set here. I'm not really a fan of the wired stuff that Hot Toys does, just because it's not as bright, and I don't really want to contend with a ton of cables, but they did throw them in there if you wanted that. You do have the longer blade. This is kind of like to mimic the katana, and this one is to mimic the washikado. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but you do have the wires coming right out of the hilts there. Just again, just that Japanese samurai essence there. She has a long and a short lightsaber, dual wielding them. Very, very cool. I don't think that the sculpt or the paint work has really changed between DX21 and this one, but very cool there that we get the wired lightsabers as well, just because the more the merrier. But here you guys can see, you guys have the non-wired versions, and they're done very, very nicely. You can see they're nice and thin. They have a nice silver paint job to them with a nice gunmetal all around. You got some gold accents. You have a black wash here for all of those fine details there. And for the short blade as well, nicely done. Very, very cool. And also, with that being said, you get a short and long lightsaber blade, and these are done kind of like in a nice smoky white color to, you know, bring the effect of how Ahsoka's blades look in the show. So I really do like that. You guys get these, and you also get the lightsaber kind of fanning blades there as well. I really don't use these, but I like the fact that they throw them in there just in case you want to use them. It almost seems like they're just waving them back and forth, so that's why I don't use them, but you can pop these in there like so. They are pretty heavy though. At least this one seems pretty heavy for the blade there as I shake my camera. But with that being said, I'm not going to take it out of the pack, but hopefully you guys can see there. You guys actually do get the cap emitters for both lightsabers. I didn't take them out because they're very, very small, but say you wanted these on her blades, this would be the effect that you'd be using to cover up the top so they're not being in use on her belt. So very cool that they, you know, went the extra step and, you know, wanted to show you guys that. But there you guys can see the different emitter covers there. So very cool. But yeah, like I said, we're going to be taking a look at the head sculpt and the body and all of that here coming up. So I didn't want to go too in depth here with those as accessories, but it's not very much, but this is everything that you get with your Ahsoka the White. So now let's take a look at the figure and those beautiful head sculpts that we got.
Here we have Ahsoka the White standing straight up and down here on the rotating turntable. We don't have any accessories on her except for the poncho. And I did put the lightsabers in there just because it goes with the entire look. You can't have Ahsoka without her lightsaber blades, but you get the gist. Guys, she looks absolutely fantastic. I don't know about you guys, but from here, just from this angle, just in a normal pose, she looks so lifelike as a figure, guys. And that has to do with the underlying body that Hot Toys went back into the well to work on. From the original figure that we got way back when, which was the DX21, mind you. This was a standard release. And Hot Toys put out all the stops and went back to work and said, you know what? We're going to update this figure from head to toe. We're not just going to slap a new head sculpt on the old body, guys. And I can confirm it is a brand new body, guys. The proportions are much better. They're more realistic. The silicone underlying body is 10 times better. You guys have that metallized skeletal system under the silicone, and it just absolutely makes the figure that much better. The figure has a ton of heft because of the metal in the body. And guys, she just has so much presence. And then on top of that, the updated head sculpt for Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka Tano. Guys, night and day. Wait till we see this next to the DX21. You can't even compare it. She looks so much more photorealistic that at the time, I thought the DX21 was actually pretty good for its time. The likeness was somewhat questionable always, but it passed. Now having that one next to this one, there's no comparison, guys. The old head sculpt does not even look like Rosario Dawson, guys, in any way, shape, or form. And we're going to take a look at that here. But just seeing her here on the rotating turntable, she looks incredible, guys. So let's take her off, take a deeper dive, and see the figure up close. All right, guys, looking at Ahsoka Tano up close and personal, she absolutely pops in the collection, guys. This figure is amazing. I am so happy, you know, that I ended up picking her up. I needed to have both versions of her, and
you know, originally having the DX21, I thought it was the end all be all, but when they announced this figure, there was just no way that you could pass this up, guys. I mean, look at it. Just look at how incredible she is. She looks fantastic. Starting off here on the top in the head sculpt, guys, just taking a quick look at this figure, guys. She looks absolutely amazing. Her Leikus have so much level of detail and texture to them. It's not even crazy. She has wrinkling over here as they would be bunching up around her ears. Up top, the paint job seems to be a little bit more muted compared to what we got originally and a lot more weathered, if that makes sense. And that makes sense because this is an older version of Ahsoka Tano. The previous one that we got with the DX21 seemed to be a little bit more dull and lack in color and was a little bit more on the yellow or orange tone, where this one is a lot more grayscaled or more realistic in color. And I really do like the way they did that. You can see the ton of texture here up top on the top of the Leiku as well, and going down back below as well. There is kind of an unsightly seam here on the back where this last Leiku plugs in, but I'm perfectly fine with that because it is nice and hidden with that dark blue stripe. It looks very, very cool. I'm losing her lightsabers here, so we're going to just take these off. But guys, the head sculpt, you can't tell me that that does not look like Rosario Dawson, especially when her eyes have that kind of look like she's looking up through her furrowed brow. Incredible. The rotating eyes give this figure so much depth and realism. She has a nice skin texture now compared to the original DX21, where I feel like it kind of lacked in skin texture. You have the wrinkling, the subtle wrinkling up here on the forehead, kind of the crow's feet around the eyes. And you guys have those small little wrinkles around her cheeks and her face just to kind of show, you know, that she has kind of some type of emotion to this sculpt. I really do like it. The lips as well are a different color compared to the original DX21. The lips are a lot darker in color, whereas the other ones were kind of more just of a paler red. Her face markings are a lot more accurate now compared to the DX21 as well. And her eyes, guys, her pupils look more like Rosario Dawson, guys. I cannot compare the two. We're actually going to just pop in the DX21 head sculpt so you guys can tell. I'm not going to show you the whole bodies because the body is completely changed and the proportions are much better. But we're going to look now. Tell me there isn't a difference here. I mean, it's night and day. You guys can see it here. The sculpt here on the DX21, as we look at it very closely, compared to this one, looks so much different. I mean, look at the pattern on the face. It's a lot tighter. It's a lot smaller. This one seems like it's more of a character. And the eyes, guys, the pupils seem to be a lot smaller here on this sculpt, where this one was the king back in the day. It was great. It was everything that we needed. You guys have the different headband here compared to the other Ahsoka the White, the new one, so that is cool in the difference. But look at the Leiku as well. Look at the length and size of the Leiku, which makes sense because she's a lot older here on this one. So I really do like that. But just looking at the head sculpt, guys, they don't look bad. Neither of them look bad. But the DX21, you can tell, is dated. Her cheekbones seem a lot more protruding on the older version compared to the new one. The nose seems to be a lot, is bigger compared to the original one. The cheekbones here, the chin, you guys can see it completely changes. Completely. You guys can tell me the difference here. The Leiku as well, the color in the Leiku. You guys can see here, this one has like more of like a yellow or orange tone. The blue is not as defined. There's not as much wrinkles. They did have wrinkles here where they came around her face. they were a little bit more exaggerated than this, but this looks a lot more realistic, guys, don't you think, compared to this? You can even feel it. It's textural compared to this one. The casting is not as strong. So I really do like them both, but I had to go with this one for the winner. This is the proper head sculpt here, guys. And then looking down here, you guys can see just the way that the clothes fits on the body. With the poncho, without the poncho, she fills the whole suit completely. We're going to take the poncho off and then look at the rest of her suit below, because I think she actually looks a lot better without the poncho. I do like the poncho look now that I'm looking at it, but I think I like it without. And here you guys go. Now she doesn't have the poncho on, and you guys can just see the silicone arms, the body. It looks incredible, guys. The feeling of it is so realistic. It feels like actual silicone skin. It's crazy, but her underlying suit looks so much better compared to the original. I do like the black look, but the white just has so much more here at play, guys. Up top, you guys can see as well, without the poncho, her neck doesn't look long. It doesn't look giraffe. It fits perfectly her on the body. But the upper part here, you guys have some bluish gray paneling here for the top of the chest, and some cross hatching patterns. The material of the fabric, guys, is just also insane. There's so many different layers and different materials here at play. This one's more of like a denim. This up front seems more of like a raw cotton. She has kind of like these piping edges here along the side of her upper shirt. You have the waistband here, or the belt, that is sculpted plastic, but these sculpted little straps here all the way around look so real with the flow that you would think that this is all real fabric, guys, and it's not. The beads and the tassels are also sculpted plastic, but they're done very beautifully and nicely. You guys can see all the different colors. She does have metal hooks here for her lightsabers to go into. And the pants as well. The pants have such a rough textured feeling, with them being kind of those like Japanese inspired samurai flowy pants with all the different pleats and folds baked into them. So I really do like the way that that looks. Her gauntlets here as well. You guys can see all of this is sculpted here, but you have the straps going over, tying into real fabric that's on the bottom, and these are just Velcro attached here as well. She does have the under straps here for her arms, which these have kind of like a cross weaving pattern, but it's one layered. So it is just insane the way this thing looks. Down here below, you guys can see that her boots, or her sneakers, I should say, compared to the original ones, they had that kind of like split toe look. These have so much sculpt and tread under here on the bottom. These guys look cool as well. They look very samurai inspired, and the armor goes down here to the bottom. But even just the stitching, guys, all the way across the shoe, as you guys can see, looks fantastic, guys. And there is a ton of movement here for the ankle, so you can have her really doing some crazy stuff here, guys. I really love the way that this looks. We're gonna put the separate head sculpt here too, the faceplate, shall I say, which is the screaming faceplate, and not a lot of people liked it, but I actually do enjoy it, because I'm probably gonna have her holding her lightsabers and kind of just having that screaming look. So there you guys have it. I switched out the head sculpt for the angry head sculpt. I got her on the base. I got her in a dynamic pose. That's kind of how I'm gonna have her posed for now. Let me know what you guys think about the pose. I might change it up here in the future. If I get bored with that head sculpt, I could change it around for more of a stoic one. But I really like the fact that it came with this angry head sculpt. You know, you got the teeth out showing. And then alongside with the DX21 that I have already, that one can be more of like my normal pose right there. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you guys enjoyed this figure and unboxing this figure with me.
Stay tuned on the channel for more Star Wars figures like this and more figures just in general by Hot Toys and other companies possibly. And yeah, guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys like content like this on the channel, hit the like button. Please don't forget to subscribe. For those of you guys that, watch the videos but, haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing so. It helps the channel out in the long run. We have many more videos to do. We have many more unboxings to do, guys. I have a ton here that I'm looking at in the studio right now. So please join us. Come along for the ride. And thank you guys, each and every one of you subscribers. Appreciate you guys. I would not be doing this if it wasn't for your guys' support here on the channel. So thank you guys once again. Flavio here, Flavio's House of Collectibles. We're signing off as my turntable decided to die. And yeah, guys, thank you guys once again, and we will catch you guys on the next video. Peace.